In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can design an e-commerce email completely from scratch. Now, specifically in this example, I'll be doing a welcome email 1, and we will jump into exactly what it is that we are going to want inside of this email. Really quick, if you don't know who I am, my name is Noah Franco, and over the past 12 months, I've been helping 6- and 7-figure e-commerce brands lower their CPA, increase their list growth, and have a faster conversion to customer, utilizing powerful strategies of email marketing. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, so the first thing I had to do, you probably won't have to do this, but I had to find a quick brand that I haven't yet done an email for. So again, this is just an example email. I do not work with this brand. However, I'm just going to be using them as a sort of base and kind of relate it to you if you don't know really how to structure an email or really how to go about it from scratch. So first things first, we're going to want to go to their website. So we're going to search them up, or they actually have it in their bio. Alrighty, cool. So pretty much I am just now going to start farming different types of creatives because I don't have access to their creatives. So what I'm going to have to do here is really utilize our thinking skills, but I'm going to have to download their logo, and I'm going to want to go to their Instagram here to really try and find an image that I can use as the hero section of the email. So really quick, let me find one and then I'll be right back. Okay, so here it is. I found one, and in order to actually grab this image, what I'm going to need to do here is I'm going to need to export it using my app that I use. It's free. It's called Toolzoo. So you're just going to want to copy the link here and then go over to your search bar, type in Toolzoo, and we're just going to paste this here. We're going to hit download, and we're going to wait for it to pretty much extract the image from the Instagram page in order for us to download it. So once it's downloaded, we obviously download it to our computer, and now it is saved here. So we can now go to our Adobe background remover, and we're going to want to upload that exact image just so that way we can kind of separate the girl from the background itself. And then we can make the background a certain color if we want, or just keep it the same. So we're going to, again, download it. And then you see here, it'll be named file for PNG for me. So let's go back into Figma and let's start designing the hero section. Okay, so really quick, there is one thing I forgot to add here. We are going to want to get their fonts specifically that they use for their brand to keep it similar to what's inside of our emails. Now, to do this, if you are a brand owner, of course, you would know what your fonts are. If you do not know what the fonts are, you can actually just click on the page anywhere really, and then hit Shift-Command-C, and this will bring up this code. And what you can do is actually just hover over the code here, and it'll actually tell us what they are using. So specifically for here, if we go to here, there it is. So it's, oh, okay. So it's Lusitano. And that is what we're going to want to use across the whole email to keep it really on brand. So now we can go into the Figma and start designing the hero section. Alrighty, so now that we are inside Figma, we want to just start making the hero section. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to go down here and we are going to want to create a frame. Now this doesn't matter how big you make it for right now because we're going to adjust it. So here we're going to want to change this, the width to 600. The height we can leave alone because we will be adjusting it as we go. But pretty much starting out with the hero section, we're going to want to grab their logo. So when we kind of do the logo, the reason why I place the logo first is because we can sort of find a background that'll go really well with this theme. So let's put in the logo. Alrighty, so now we have the logo, and while I was in there, I went ahead and actually just put this image in here too as well. It's the one with no background in it, and I actually just made the frame here a linear pattern. So pretty much what we can do is copy the exact background from each other using our eye color picker. And pretty much you just click and you press I on your keyboard, and you can click around and pretty much just change the color of how the email looks across so it's very consistent. Now, next thing we're going to want to do is start creating the copy for the hero section. Now, again, this is a welcome email. So remembering the font that we said we were going to use, which is Lusitano. We're going to want to keep it consistent throughout the whole email. And really here, we're just going to want to welcome them in and give them their code with the CTA. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Alrighty, so I just did it here. All I did was pretty much just say, welcome to Green Bee Botanicals. take 10% off your first order using code WELCOME20. Now, again, this is just for sample. This is not an actual email that they will be using. Again, I don't work with this brand. Now, the reason why we want to keep it here very, very simple is because they just signed up for 20% off. So we want to deliver exactly that. We're not really here to educate yet, which is further down in the welcome flow, but specifically this email is just to kind of introduce the brand lightly, welcoming them in. Now, taking a look at this hero section here, there is something I feel like I could do to make this stand out a little bit. So let's try and see what we can do. I can try adding a drop shadow here to the, oh wow, that actually makes it look a lot better. Okay, so there you go. Things like that, as simple as a drop shadow. All you do is go to effects, you hit the plus and select drop shadow. And if you click this little icon, the settings here, you can actually adjust how big the blur is going to be on the button itself. So if we wanted to darken it more, we could. And then mainly here, you're going to want to make your code stand out a little bit more, hence why I made it the color that is actually they use in their brand. So, okay, so now for step number 2, we're going to want to design the bridge section. Now, this is just going to be really copy focused with just a CTA, so it's going to be super simple, but I'll show you how I walk through my process so you can do the same. Okay, so specifically for this part of the email, like I said, it's just going to be mainly copy focused. And we want to educate about the brand. We're not going in depth because that is going to be a separate email. However, we kind of just want to give them a little bit of what the brand is about. So in order to do this, I'm going to want to go to the about section here in the email. And to actually save us time, what we are going to do here is we're actually going to train ChatGPT to give us a base. This is not what we're going to copy and paste into the email unless it is very, very good. But again, it is not meant for you to just tell ChatGPT to write it and then paste it right in there. You may need to make some corrections, and it's always best to make sure that you look over this. To begin with, we're just going to select all of this here. And then we're going to want to go to ChatGPT. Okay, so I quickly just spun this up for ChatGPT, and pretty much all it is just telling it, I need you to write me a section giving me a little bit about my brand. This should be clear and concise and make it 1 to 2 strong sentences. This is meant to lightly educate the customer on the brand. I give it the brand, and then I give it the information that I pulled from the About Us. So let's see what ChatGPT will spit out for us. Okay, so now I'm back. I had to quickly just give it an example of something that I wrote myself for another brand that I do not work or do any work for, but just making another example email for them. So pretty much, we're just going to want to copy this and then paste it into our Figma file, making slight edits. Okay, so now that we have it in here, all I did was just make the bridge section down here. Now, I've not copy and pasted over what it is because I wanted to quickly explain to you how simple it really is. So all we need is just a header saying about Green Bee Botanicals, and then again, remind them of their call to action, that is revolved around the email, which is getting 20% off. So we're just going to Command C this here. Now, I do want to tell them to remember to use code WELCOME20 for 20% off. Now, what we're going to do to make this differentiate, I should say, is we're going to want to make it so where that code stands out again. Now, what we can do for this is also, again, like I mentioned, just change the color of our offer here. And then what we can also do is just make it a little bit bigger to kind of expand on it and make it seem even better. So probably make this a little bit bigger than that. Alrighty, so to me, it looks pretty good. However, this is kind of very blank. So I do want to kind of add something into the background here to just make it seem a little bit more poppy and not so flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their website and see if I can find anything that I can paste in the background. Alrighty, so I actually found on their website this texture, this blue texture with some leaves in the background, and I thought that this really helps make it stand out a little bit more than it kind of did, and just kind of adds, again, more texture to the email. Doesn't make it seem as flat as it possibly could. Now, what we're going to want to do is create a product section for the customers to actually shop by. Now, this can be your best sellers. This can be product categories. For this email specifically, we're going to do a bit of both categories and product sections based on bestsellers. So I'm going to go to their site, pull the pictures exactly like how I would using the tools that I mentioned in the video, and then we will be back with how I will design it. Alrighty, so we are back now, and pretty much all I did was just grab product images off of their website, and then I just kind of labeled them each on what they were and added a shop all button at the bottom in case customers did not want to shop the oil, the cream, the serum, or the other serum. They have a chance to shop other items as well. So now we can move on to the final section of the email. Okay, now for this section specifically, I did not really do much because I didn't have much to work with, again, with creatives. It's kind of hard to sort of, design an email when you don't have creative, so you really have to get creative yourself. So here what we did is I just put a little bit of a subheader there that says shop by category, and it gives them the different types of categories they can shop by. I just realized I accidentally put cannabis twice, so that is wrong. I'll quickly change that. Alrighty, so we got that fixed. It is now hemp, cannabis, and accessories. And then at the bottom, I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of uniqueness to the brand and just kind of really show some unique selling points here, which is just free shipping on orders over $100. They have 100% ingredient transparency, and their products are actually award-winning. So that just kind of helps build rapport and sort of like a social proof for new people that are coming into the brand. If they do scroll this far down in the email, they will see that you are an award-winning product. Therefore, they can rely on you and trust you setting for your brand. So what we can do here is actually just lock each frame and connect them together just to give it the full look of the email and exactly how it would look if we created it all as one. Now, the reason, again, why I like to slice it up a little bit more is just because it gives us a little bit more to work with. We can kind of see how the email will transform. And when you do it all in one, there's a lot more things to mess up in case you accidentally delete something, etc. It's just a lot easier to sort of space out your emails, and it gives you more clarity on where you're going to go with the design. At least it does for me. Try it out yourself, see what works best for you. But this is exactly how I would do it if I had to design a email from scratch with absolutely no resources whatsoever, just using free things off of the internet. So if you did like this video, please, I'd appreciate it if you can leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe. Let me know if you want to see any other videos regarding email marketing for e-commerce brands. I will leave the link. The first link in the description will be for my 12 trainings on email marketing. It covers things like setting up DNS records, branded setting domains, copy for emails, flows, campaigns, extra tutorials, unsubscribes, everything you ever possibly need for an e-commerce brand to get started with email marketing. So I highly recommend you go check that out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.